Hello, everyone. Welcome to our sixth episode here of the You'll Have That podcast. I am your host, Wassup, joined with lovely Twiz. And we have a nice bit of topics today, and sorry for the absence last week. We were taking a little hiatus for the holidays, but we are back. And we got some nice topics. We got some Black Friday deals that we're going to share with you guys. And let's get right into it. Where do you want to start, Twiz?
Um, let's start with TikTok being sued by the DOJ for harming children's mental health.
Yeah, so I read recently like the New York Department of Justice is suing TikTok because of like its addictive tendencies with children, and now that we just saw in Australia, they're actually banning social media for people 16 and younger, which, in my personal opinion, again, my personal opinion, guys, I think this is not a bad idea, especially for kids developing. Being on social media can be very stressful and distracting and kind of harmful for mental health. So it's not a terrible idea for younger, the younger demographic. So what do we think about the specifically, I guess, TikTok here?
I think that they're personally just going through their lumps. All social media platforms have this done to them. Every single one of them. Meta, YouTube, all of them.
So with
You know,
YouTube, we have YouTube Kids, and YouTube isn't really a social media platform. I would say
why
it's
do
more
you
of a video platform.
why do you think YouTube Kids came about? Because YouTube was sued for damaging the mental health of the youth.
So do you
20,
think?
2023, all meta platforms were sued,
Mm-hmm.
particularly by the state of Michigan, with 42 other attorneys joining in.
Mm.
In 2023, they were sued as well. Like I said, TikTok is just going through its lumps because it has become a social media giant, and governments like to put them in their place a little bit, so to speak. And that's that. I mean, my opinion, if it's harming children's mental health, then that is on the parent to know what their child is doing, know what their child is partaking in, and remedy that. If you cannot do that, because personally, here's what I'm tired of. Okay, I'm tired of hearing parents that have 4, 5, 6 kids. Right? Oh, I don't have time. I'm busy. I'm this. I'm that. I didn't know my child was doing this. I didn't know my child was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? You should have known. That's a part of parenting, you
I'm
know.
gonna agree and disagree here. So I guess in our modern economy, having that mentality, in my opinion, doesn't really work a lot because to get a livable wage, if you're a single parent, you're not gonna be able to have, an eagle eye on your kids. So in that regard, I think there should be a better alternative. And
It's 2024. Everybody has one of these devices in their hands, and if you're not tech savvy enough to put the correct and proper blocks and stuff on these devices, then there's very simple tutorials on YouTube and other parts of the internet that'll teach you exactly how to do that. And in this day and age, in the tech age, if you do not know what your kids are up to via the internet or in real life, there is a serious problem because almost every single kid has one of these in their pocket. There is a free app called Life 360, or if you're on Apple, you have the Find My app. You can literally track your kids' location and stuff like that. So, at the end of the day, in my opinion, governments should not be getting involved in this as far as children's mental health and the addictive blah blah blah.
yeah,
That should be on the parents. Now, if they really want to get involved, okay, instead of suing because you damaged a kid's mental health, okay, do what Australia did. 16 and under is illegal for you to even be on the platform.
I think that's a fair
Um,
point. I get what you're saying. Definitely, I do. But you can already. It's been like how you're describing it, where parents should be more educated. It's always been like that, and we see that it's failing because the youth these days, in my opinion, is not really the best compared
I
to how it
grew
was.
up I grew up under a single woman who worked two jobs, all right,
Hmm.
and still knew exactly what me and my siblings were doing at pretty much any given time pre cell phones.
Well, those were different
So
times. You can't compare. It's completely different time.
if she could do it, these parents today can do it.
Well, let's educate our viewers too in the sense of what is this specifically referencing. It's a lot to do with the TikTok challenges. I'm sure you've heard about the like weird, crazy TikTok challenges. I think one of them was like putting a fork in the toaster or something like that. Um,
And that is from sick people. Okay, so let's break this down. All right, so whenever a TikTok challenge comes out, it's not because TikTok itself put it out. It's because that challenge was made on that platform by another user. So that is a sick individual, and is what the government should do is go after that individual, because obviously you are trying to cause harm. That's not even mental harm, that is physical harm to someone. So that's who they should be going after, not not the company itself. Now, I get that the company itself does have some sort of responsibility to try to mitigate and stop things like this from happening. But again, I have to say, why are we not going after the person that made this happen? And as to your point earlier, so YouTube Kids. Well, let's delve into YouTube Kids, because there were shows on YouTube Kids that were telling kids to go unalive their parents, literally on YouTube Kids.
I think these problems
So
do exist across the board.
these are sick-minded individuals.
Correct, correct. And to kind of stop kind of harping on comparing it to other platforms because we're focusing on TikTok, what do you think TikTok should do in this situation?
Quite frankly, like, once it's brought to their attention, they should remove the video. But even once they do that, the damage is kind of already done. We live in an information age. We live in an age where right now, right this second, we are live, we are on YouTube. And until someone comes in and I guess reports our page, and then a human being
No, it's a bot.
goes, well, a bot goes and looks at it, and then it's escalated to a human being. And then they have to look and see whether we're banned or taken off live or whatever. So, like, we are expecting a platform and human beings, with the help of bots and AI, of course, to be able to mitigate things in within seconds, and that's just unrealistic. I'm sorry, in my opinion, completely unrealistic. Yes, it can be mitigated probably a little faster. Sure, I will agree with that. But again, at the end of the day, I I, I don't know what to say as far as like TikTok can look into trying to mitigate it faster, but at the same time, I don't think that this is just that platform's issue,
No
because
one said
all
it was. It's just this is the platform that's getting sued right now, and there's
yeah,
no
currently.
proposed fix. Even you can't come up with a fix. So clearly the issue is there, and there's not a solution. So it's on TikTok to provide said solution. The government is
Me
simply
per
telling them, "Hey, you're gonna have to make a
Me
solution."
personally, if I ran things, it would be on the parents. It would literally be on the
I
parents,
think that's an
or I would just
antiquated way of thinking. It's
I,
not worked. It has not worked, in my opinion.
it doesn't work because parents don't want to parent their kids. The majority
Mhm.
of parents don't want to do it. So at the end of the day, okay, if they don't want to do that, then just make it illegal for 16 and under to be on social media, period. And that includes YouTube. I
Again,
mean, what
YouTube
else what
isn't
else are you
social
going to
media, in my
do?
opinion. It's more of a video sharing platform.
But you still have, okay, If that's the case, then TikTok can't be considered a social media thing either because it is a video sharing platform. Like your argument right there is null and void because TikTok is more of a video sharing platform, honestly, than most. It's basically the same thing as YouTube, only in short form. And even YouTube went and made shorts to try to keep up with the
But YouTube has
Joneses.
a YouTube Kids section. TikTok does not have a TikTok Kids section, so it's not really apples to apples.
I mean, and what did I just say about the YouTube Kids section? You can look it up. It literally happened. That's what YouTube got sued for as well.
Yeah, but I mean, it's against their policy, and they actively try to fix it. Whereas it's not working with TikTok.
TikTok actively tries to fix it as well, though.
Well, it's not working, so they got to find
Like I
another thing.
like I said at the beginning, every single social media or video sharing platform has been sued. The same exact lawsuit by the DOJ, mind you.
Well,
So
that's not the point of this conversation. It's what should
this
TikTok
isn't
do?
this isn't something new. I don't know. I don't own TikTok. I'm not a social media slash video sharing platform CEO.
Connoisseur. Oh, okay. Well, in my
Um,
opinion, I'll offer something because I have a little suggestion. I do think the age restriction should be taken a bit more seriously, and a verification should be put in place. And if they want to open the door for children to use TikTok, they need a parental sort of thing to go with that. Like the parent has to okay it or something. And it will strip down the app to be a kid's version, in my opinion. I
but
think that would be.
you and I both know this to be true as well. Even if they did a parental thing, a parental verification,
Mhm.
the parents are going to go ahead and approve it
Well,
anyways, and
then the
then they're
blame
still going to.
isn't.
It's the same with video games, and we have a administration that's coming in that's already talking about the violence in video games and
All
TV.
right, we're gonna stay apolitical. So I think I get what you're saying. We're both kind of like.
You're on a slippery slope. That's all I've got to say about this whole situation. You are on a very slippery
I don't
slope.
think I am. I don't. I like I said, if they were to ban it for minors 16 and younger, I'd be okay with
Sure,
that.
sure, go ahead.
If
But
they
how do we
didn't,
enforce that?
I don't know. So in that aspect, that is not my wheelhouse. I don't know.
So, so here's my question. The only way that they would be able to enforce that, which I'm pretty sure that they're going to enforce it this exact same way in Australia,
Mhm.
is anytime you open up a social media account, you are going to have to submit an ID.
Well, so
Uh,
Facebook already does that, so it's not like out of this world or anything.
Facebook doesn't require
Yeah.
Americans to submit an
Yes.
ID.
Yes. You cannot make a Facebook account anymore without a photo of you and an ID picture because I verified this personally. So,
Okay, well, maybe they're doing that now, but
it's to combat
my
bots.
Facebook account
That's why.
is not. So I don't know. I don't know how many people would actually be comfortable with submitting their IDs into social media platforms that are notoriously known for being hacked. Like how many people do you know who's had their Facebook hacked
That's a
or
good
their
point.
Instagram hacked?
That is a good point, and it
And
does.
then there
Yeah.
you go. They've got your first, last name, date of birth, your address, your license, driver's license number. Like I personally, this is a slippery slope. I don't like it. I really, really do not like it. Period.
I don't know if it's a slippery slope, but I get what you're saying, and yeah, you're right. Facebook has been hacked numerous times, but at the same time, almost everything in the U.S. has been hacked. Credit card companies have been hacked. Bank companies have been hacked.
Well, it's not just the
Like all
US.
of those.
Everything that's ever been on the internet has been pretty much hacked. Anything that you can get value out of, I
Correct.
should say. So
Exactly.
therefore, these social media platforms are going to be even more valuable if we're having to submit IDs and this and that. It becomes a lot more uh hackers see it as, you know, a bigger pot to be able to snatch people, because right now they're hacking people to do scams, to hit up people on the person's friends list that they've hacked to try to get money out of. Now they'll be hacking it for their information. Period. That's why they hack cell phone companies, is to get, you know,
But
all the
that's also,
information.
as you said, that is part of being in the information age. We're in an age where all your information is online, whether you like it or not. Everything's digital, and being hacked is something that you have to keep up with as a consumer, as an informed consumer, excuse me. So, yeah, sure. I don't know how many. I feel like it's a little bit of like old-fashioned kind of thought process where you used to be very hesitant to give your ID out unless you really had to, sort of thing. But
Well, call me old fashioned, because I'm going to tell you now, the minute a social media platform asks me for my ID, I don't sign up to that social media platform.
well, if you remember, I think Call of Duty asked for people's cell phone numbers for playing ranked. Do you remember that?
They've never asked for people's cell phone numbers to play ranked. I have played every single Call of Duty, and I have been in ranked in every single Call of Duty. They have never asked for a cell phone number.
Um. So So you actually have to link your mobile phone number to Battle.net or Call of Duty Warzone to play ranked. It is no
And
longer.
I don't play Warzone.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you that companies are doing that. I mean, I know Rainbow Six Siege did that as well. So
And Facebook has already done cell phones. And okay, I'm fine with that. I am not fine submitting my government ID. That is why we have screen names for anonymity.
yeah, anonymity. What do you think about like having something akin to um maybe like getting, so I think I don't remember which country does this, but like it's almost like a social ID sort of thing where it verifies that you're a real person, but it maybe is still anonymous, kind of, you know what I'm talking about? There's a country that does this. I don't remember if it's China or South Korea or something, or Taiwan. I don't remember, sorry, I'm ignorant on this one. It is a country that does this, so I think it's like a form of social credit, if you will. I think it's China. But
Ew,
having some,
sounds communist to me.
well, hold on. I'm not talking about using it in that aspect. I'm just saying it's something akin to like an anonymous marketing ID sort of on your computer, and it kind of functions the same way, where it just proves that you're a human, but the details are still anonymous. So even if you get hacked, it's not like they have your information. Something like that, I think, would be kind of an interesting thing to play around with, maybe. And maybe it could be a government entity that does that part, and the gaming companies only get the ID issued, which has anonymous details. So that could be a way to do it for people that are 18 and up, and this could be a way to verify that you're 18 and up.
I mean, I guess, but at the same time, you're just having more government reaching into more facets of, American people's lives. And I'm sorry, I know that we have viewers outside of America that does not sound extreme or doesn't sound unreasonable, but we also have a lot of American viewers that are going to be like me and say, you know what? No, I don't agree with that. That's overreaching. You're starting to reach into entertainment and this and that and the other, which I get. Parents are, oh, my kid's mental health. Again, when you have a child, you have a responsibility for that child, physically and mentally.
I would just like to point out, we have a chatter in chat. It's Jaboon, actually. I just want to read off the two messages before we keep going. He started out with, bro, scams are getting really bad, lol. They're even making Edge have pop-ups that they're spoofing to look like Malwarebytes slash McAfee virus detected pop-ups in the corner of your screen. That is very true. Scams are getting dangerous, and especially for those maybe that are older and don't know better. It's very concerning because it's very easy to get tricked by those said scams. And then he also chatted having to submit ID is crazy for an online game. You have to submit your ID on Roblox to use their voice chat, but it's like, why? Yeah, I mean, there's some games you do have to do that to verify your age, which I get. It is a little, trust me, I do understand what Twiz is saying. It's a little bit of a iron fist sort of tactic, but the government does have to adapt to the 2022 to the information uh, era we're in. You can't just have an outdated government on policies that were way before how much we're in the internet to this day and age. So I do think there's a balance. I don't think we're at that balance. Um, I don't have a
obviously,
yeah,
obviously we're not at that balance,
right. And I don't
to
have a
keep it
magic.
apolitical.
I
To
don't have
keep
a
it
magic answer for all of this, but I can foresee in the future things are going to get a little bit more invasive for the safety of the next generation online, the normal, your average Joe person. I could see that happening in the future for sure. We'll see. All right. Well, that was pretty good discussion there. So let's move on to, what do you want to move on to, Twiz?
That's up to you this time.
All right, I'm gonna talk a little bit about, let's do Call of Duty. Call of Duty. They kind of are back in the limelight here a little bit. Just a quick kind of tidbit for people. There's been a massive influx of actually, one second. Jaboon just messaged again. I get there's a means to adapt, but it has to be for the right reasons. We're still punishing people for swearing in game comms despite being 18 plus. That is very true, and actually that does go to COD right there. So I will touch on that point in a second, Jaboon. Let me just finish this. So Call of Duty has been randomly banning people in troves, and granted, I don't know if it's because of the voice chat or not, but it's all over Reddit. People that have not even bought the game are being banned from it for some reason. So there's some huge issue going on back end, I'm pretty sure, with Ricochet or whatever automated system they're using. And be careful, just be on the lookout. You may have randomly gotten a ban out of nowhere for no reason whatsoever, so just gotta appeal that and obviously go through the right means to get that fixed. But be cautious. Even people that don't have Black Ops 6 are getting these messages, so be on the lookout. But to kind of also cover what Jaboon said, I know some people that had personal experience with that, and I agree. Like you say, so it's an 18 plus game, right? It's rated M for mature. It is not even like, literally, it is 18 plus. There's supposed to be no
operators cuss people out.
Yeah, that's a good point too. The actual characters that you play in game do curse and like curse at people. However, if you do that on voice chat, it seems like almost immediately you get a warning and then they voice chat ban you. I don't know, like, what the hell is going on? I just want to know, what do you think? What the hell is going on here?
I said it in Modern Warfare 3. I said it in Modern Warfare 2. Stop worrying about what the fuck people are saying on voice and start worrying about the damn cheaters. If you are more concerned about what someone is saying in voice or text chat on your game than you are the actual cheaters that are making your game a cesspool that is almost unplayable, then your priorities are seriously fucked and you need to reevaluate that entire situation. Please pull your head from your booty hole.
I kind of want to offer. I want to offer a little explanation, and I think the reason that this happens is because their AI is better trained for the voice part of the issues they're having versus the cheating part.
Well, then you know what? Train that AI on some other shit.
So Jaboon said, "Why is their anti-cheat doing better at banning people not playing than they are who visibly aimbot or spin bot?" Absolutely true. Absolutely true. You know, with the recent introduction.
By the way,
yes.
Sorry. I do have a reason as to why people have gotten banned on Black Ops 6 whenever they haven't even bought the game.
Okay, you can get to that in 1 sec. Let me just finish my train of thought. So we've seen now with the introduction of ranked, which just came out, I think, a week ago, maybe, right? So a week ago,
Something like that.
We already see people that are diamond or top 250 that never even played ranked, or are their rank doesn't make sense. So the amount of cheaters is pretty evident. You don't even have to really see them just based on their stats. You could be like, yeah, that doesn't add up at all. It doesn't make any sense. You're having people that are like plat 2 that are top 250 or ranked number 1 would have the number 1 skin, which doesn't make any sense.
It's because they used an unlocker.
Yeah, I know, which is it's a form of cheating, but it is what it is. So they really should get their act together in terms of that, because
those people should immediately be banned.
Exactly. It doesn't even take that big of a leap to be like, oh well, this doesn't make sense, ban. But yeah, there's multiple. I mean, there's tons, literally tons of videos of people spin botting and wall hacking and this and that.
And we need to stop with just account bans and actually hardware ban.
So
that's what needs to start happening.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because that is a good point. You do need to. However, unfortunately, these hacks have gotten so sophisticated because they've developed these hacks for years upon years. They actually do spoof your hardware, your ID, everything. So they have multiple layers of protection. So go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Pretty sad that the cheats have more protection than the anti-cheat itself.
Yeah.
Anyways, but no, the reason why people are being banned from Black Ops 6 is because they're actually cheating in Warzone and catching that ban. And Warzone is directly tied to Black Ops 6. So all these people whining and crying on Reddit, your ban was absolutely deserved, and you know it. Okay. Just like most of these streamers that are getting banned and then getting unbanned. No, that's not right. They're obviously cheating. We can watch them on YouTube making shots that you would never see. And mind you, whenever you're watching someone play Call of Duty on YouTube, they are actually using filters and stuff to make it look better, to make it to where you can see better and everything. So whenever you're watching that and you still can't see the person that they are shooting, just know that it's about 3 times worse when they're actually playing the game. So their visuals are 3 times worse when they're making those shots. And they're going to sit there and play people to the left like they're not really cheating. Nah, bro, you're full of shit. You're making shots that even your viewers can't even see the person that you're shooting at and killing. How are you whenever your visuals are 3 times worse while you're actually playing the game?
I mean, absolutely. I've actually seen streamers legitimately show off their hacks, so it's not only
I've seen that too, but I'm saying the streamers that are
trying to hide
these competitions, like, I gotta call out Iceman. Iceman be out here, he's played for years and years and years, swearing up and down that he's not cheating and this, that, and the other. And you watch his videos, and a good 70% of his kills are from across the map that you can't even see the player while you're watching his YouTube video, let alone how is he seeing him whenever his visuals are 3 times worse without filters.
I mean, that's true. I didn't know the whole Warzone thing, so you absolutely are probably right about that. I know, but yeah, it's staggering. I do know recently there was a anti-cheat developer that commented on Ricochet. I believe he was an anti-cheat for either League or Valorant or something like that. And he
even Valorant's having a problem with cheaters, like a mass problem with cheaters now.
It's not nearly as bad as CoD. COD's like miles ahead of everyone.
Like, but I'm not here saying that Call of Duty's anti-cheat is on par with everybody else's. No, their anti-cheat is trash. It has been trash, and it always will be trash until they either A, get some actual anti-cheat developers in there, or B, go with a reputable anti-cheat.
Yeah,
which
so
personally, I think that's what they should do.
I agree. The same. I think they should just use the industry standard. But anyways, so the person did comment saying that the way Ricochet anti-cheat works is a little different from like your average anti-cheat, where it uses AI instead of like heuristic values and stuff like that. So I think they're trying to do too much. or maybe too little in this case. I don't know. But don't reinvent the wheel. If there is a standard and it's been working for everyone, just use it.
So I have a theory, and it's probably a conspiracy theory, but who knows? I
Where's my
personally
tinfoil
think,
hat?
right.
Oh,
I
there you go.
personally, I personally think that the reason why Call of Duty insists on using its own anti-cheat is that they know if they use the industry standard, that a lot of these streamers
Mm-hmm.
that have been streaming Call of Duty for years
Yeah.
would in fact be banned, and they are so scared of that happening because those streamers has a large following,
Yeah.
and if those streamers get banned, they're going to shit talk, and then possibly you see an exodus. But I honestly think that it would go the other way. Get those crappy ones out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You would get actual talented people at the game that would stream your game for you. And there you go. It'll probably bring more people in because then everybody knows, okay, I'm actually getting beat by a legit person. I don't mind getting curb stomped as long as I'm getting curb stomped legitimately.
And that's
But
something I really do miss when like we play Fortnite, for example. If I get curb stomped in Fortnite, I literally can watch the person play the whole match, be like, all right, they're just better than me. What can I say? I'll get better. Whereas,
right.
it's really, really lacking with COD. And heck, maybe a step in the right direction. Bring back recorded games. Let us watch what the other person's doing. The whole game. Like, let's just at least have some validation, right? Where,
Yes.
I just don't get it. And, Fortnite, to bring this again, Fortnite does this. They don't host it on their servers. They literally, you can locally record, have a setting where it records like the last 100 games, and you can rewatch them. And it'll start deleting old ones as you play new ones. Have something like that. It costs you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
but alas, just wanted to give everyone a heads up on that. Some development there on COD. Do you have anything else to add on to us about that? What was that?
No.
All right. Well, that's that. I actually do want to now talk about a little bit about Ubisoft because this is pretty funny. So recently we've seen Ubisoft kind of be pushed down, or not pushed down. Sorry, Ubisoft has fallen from grace. Let's just say that it's gone to, I would, in my opinion, say trash tier. Not bad, trash. So below bad. From
Dumpster fire.
dumpster fire, right? From just the horrible quality to pushing agendas where it doesn't make sense to just absolute like disaster, messing up source material. But besides all that, they're actually doing so bad that there's an insider that was talking about rumors, or not rumors, but stuff that's been happening at Ubisoft, saying that they want Steam to take away the reviews, or sorry, the player count, because Steam shows player counts on every game, right? They want Steam to take that away so people don't notice how bad their games are a heaping pile of crap.
All I have to say is, Steam, don't you dare fucking do it.
Steam's a reputable W company.
You have integrity.
You
Do
have integrity.
not sacrifice it for Ubisoft.
Absolutely. For a company like that, oh god. But yeah, Valve has been really good in terms of being for the consumer, and I really hope they don't go down that route. I don't see they would personally, but anyways, I just find it funny that these mega corporation, like these, it's not a mega corporation, but these huge companies are so ashamed of their failures they want to cover it up versus actually fixing the failure.
That's because they don't want to pay for real talent.
Fair point.
Plain and simple. All these companies are cutting costs for the bottom line, for the dollar.
Yep. Yep.
And to be honest, it's sickening. It's disheartening, and we as consumers and everything like that, we need to unite, and we need to start showing these companies that they only have the power that they have because of our money. That's it. If we don't spend money with them, guess who doesn't have power anymore? They don't. We need to start showing them that.
Very true. Very true. If we see, I remember a few games were doing the whole like you purchase this edition and you get it if you. Well, actually, Ubisoft did this. You purchase like the deluxe edition, you get 3 days early, and this and that. A lot of people didn't really like that, and they kind of backed that up, I think, or at least from what I remember. So,
Mhm.
there you go. You guys need to speak with your wallets, and if you don't want to have this sort of behavior be a normal, um, boycott the brand. Me and Twiz here are boycotting Ubisoft. We will not play any Ubisoft games.
Oh, I'm boycotting a lot of things, but
Just one of the many.
Ubisoft is one.
Right, right. So, have some integrity. I know we live in an age where these mega corporations are almost encouraged to kind of go rogue and do whatever the hell they want for the dollar. Um, but in the end, they do need our money to survive. So,
Always remember and never forget, morals and integrity do matter.
yes, absolutely. Um, Kind of shifting gears here. Kind of still going in the gaming direction, I suppose. Um, so there was a recent ruling. Zubun actually brought this one up, so I'm gonna also have him probably talk about this if he does come on for an episode. Probably the episode that he comes on. But there was a ruling that actually applied copyright to older games. So game preservation is kind of an issue at the moment because it made it to where like playing older games that are now, you could get an emulator for it, for example, it's actually copyright infringement. So that's kind of concerning considering what way can we play all these old games? It's not like you can just go buy I don't know, like a PS1 for an affordable price and then get the original disc or another disc that has a game that was a PS1 game. So I don't know how this is going to work. What do you think? I mean,
I think that it's stupid, but again, these companies are using their power that we have bestowed upon them with our wallets to try to milk us for more dollars. Because the reason why they're doing that is so that we don't get emulators, so that because eventually these game discs that can't be, um, that can't be, they're not distributed anymore. They're not made anymore or anything like that. So what they're going to do is, oh, we're gonna relaunch it
yeah.
with updated graphics
Like
at
GTA
three times
Definitive Edition.
the price that you paid for it back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that's exactly what they're gonna do. And at the end of the day, if we want shit like this to stop, those brands, Nintendo, don't buy
S-
the Switch 2.
Say it with your chest.
It's simple as that.
Nah, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Don't buy the Switch 2. Don't do this. Don't do that. Any company that pulls this type of shit, just and you don't like it, okay, I'm not supporting that company. Enough people do that, these companies will be all like, damn, I fucked up.
Absolutely correct. I mean, to kind of add insult to injury for them, Nintendo is a big proponent of this. Nintendo has recently been on a crusade to kind of shut down all the emulators and all the I don't know, Discord groups, Reddits, whatever it is for emulation. So, it's pretty disgusting to see because you and
And
I
if I'm
both know they're gonna charge an arm and a leg because they purchased the domain to I think Yuzu or one of the
Mhm,
emulators. They have purchased the whole entire team, so they're gonna develop one in house and charge you for it.
monthly, it'll be monthly. Watch. You
Yeah.
don't mark my words. Mark my words. $10 to $20 a month for an emulator. Watch.
Yep.
Watch, and it'll probably be something akin to like Xbox Game Pass. So you'll pay $10 or $20 a
Yeah.
month for the emulator and all of these games
Yep. Yeah.
that you can play on your computer or whatever. Because
Hmm.
they already do it with like the original Switch
Yeah.
with
Yeah. 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 The
all of the
classics. Yep.
old Nintendo games.
Yep.
It was what, $5 a month or $8 a month, something like that.
Something. Yeah.
Um, there you go. Watch, mark my words, that's what they're going to do. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Nintendo that's pushing this software preservation
I don't know
thing?
exactly. This is more of Jaboon's topic, so he can add on to this next time he's on. Um,
Is he
but
still in chat?
does not look like it. If he is, Jaboon type something. I don't know. But alas, um, I just thought it was overall a bad thing, and just to kind of highlight it, it's concerning because what's gonna happen when, if ever, Nintendo like shuts down? Where are all these games gonna go? They're dead. That's it. They're gone. It's sad because that's a part of history. Some people grew up on those games and they really want to cherish and remember them. You just erased it from history, essentially.
Mhm.
It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. As you would say, or as we would
You'll
say,
have
you'll
that.
have that. Um, Now another thing that's kind of been major-ish is the Game Awards. The Game Awards have opened up their polling, so everyone can go vote for whatever they want. Um, there's a bit of controversy with that, however. So this year is a little different. So they've pre-selected the kind of the games that they're allowing in categories. Well, actually, maybe they did before, but they're allowing DLCs to be counted as games. So in my opinion, I think they should have a separate category for DLC. I don't think it should be lumped in with games.
Best DLC,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah, exactly. Which they used to do way back in the day, but they got rid of it.
Mhm.
Excuse me, but
I
yeah.
don't
So
know.
we
That's
have some
dumb.
interesting stuff like so I believe there's let's so like let's see. So there's Astrobot, for example, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, and then Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Elden Ring. I think Shadow of the Erdtree was a fantastic DLC, 10 out of 10. I just don't know if it's fair because they already won Game of the Year before. I don't
Hmm.
see it being fair for them to do it again on the same game, just a DLC.
Right.
Um, there's some really good.
Personally, Black Myth Wukong, in my opinion, should get
I
it.
think that's gonna probably win it. To be quite honest with you, it was very popular, and Black Myth. I mean, that's such a good game. It was a lot of bang for your buck, right? So,
Hmm.
like I said, personally, I think they should have its own category for DLC. Um, the also in addition to that, there's some controversy about the picks. Um, so some of the picks, let's see here. So some of the picks, for example, for Game of the Year, like I said, you got Astrobot, Balatro, um, and then some other stuff. I never even heard of Metaphor Refantasio, so that's interesting considering it's a Game of the Year nominee, right? Um, and then there's some. So a lot of the categories are actually also copy and paste. So best game direction is a copy and paste of the best game of the year. So you have like doubles, right?
Hmm.
So that's, I think, also kind of a meh sort of thing. Um, Best art direction also has a lot of the same titles from the other two categories. So you're giving a lot of, I don't know, you're not really giving the limelight to a lot of different developers. It's a lot of the same, and I don't know. That makes me personally feel like it's more cliquey, and it's not really giving the light to different game developers and stuff like that. But
It's giving
yeah,
rigged.
it kind of does. I don't know how they get those nominations. I'm not sure, to be quite honest with you, but I think, I don't know. But meh. Just figured I'd talk about that. You have any comments about it or nah?
Not really. Like I said, I think Game of the Year should go to Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah, that's my game of the year too.
Art style, it's, that's also Black Myth Wukong is in that category, so I got to give it to them. Shadow of the Erd Tree is also in that category along with Game of the Year. So, I mean,
I don't.
I
I'd
like.
be honest with you. I don't think Elden Ring is gonna win it. I don't.
Yeah, I know, but I liked Elden Ring's art style, but Black Myth's was way better in my opinion. So, but that's just my opinion.
Well, you know, to
Well,
be fair, I
time will
think
tell.
for us, for example, because we like more, Asian mythology, sort of that sort of art style, that's more akin to like what we like. So I think for a lot of people, that's kind of why Black
But
Myth is a little better.
but Black Myth's art itself is way more intricate and beautiful.
You're right, but Elden Ring does go for more of the what are they?
Medieval-ish
No, not that.
fantasy.
They go for is a famous novel writer. Not Tolkien. Jeez. The guy that did Cthulhu and all that.
Oh, see, you
Now you
missed
forgot it.
Lovecraft.
Yeah,
Lovecraft.
they're very Lovecraftish, sorta. I think that's what they kind of go for. So, um,
Mm,
meh.
slightly.
But
We'll
yeah,
see though.
we will. I mean, I do predict that Black Myth is gonna win Game of the Year though. That's my prediction so far.
Hmm.
So another. Let's shift gears into how about open source software? I mean, so recently, I would say there's a pretty nice um thing that we did with open source software, and that's the our
We
routing.
made our own router.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool because I'm a big home lab proponent. I like hosting a lot of things at home, like tinkering with servers, tech, and stuff like that. And open source, there's a lot of good open source software online that I think a lot of people miss. And one of the ones that I tried like 5 years ago was Pfsense. Back then, I don't think Opensense was a thing. Maybe it was. I don't know, but it was Pfsense Community Edition, and super cool piece of open source software. Pfsense since then has gotten bought by Netgate, and they develop it, but there's still an open source version called Community Edition. And then there's OPN Sense, which is like the community developed version. That gets a bit more frequent updates, but it's kind of like a little bit buggier, a little, so it's a trade off. But, I just thought I would talk about that a little bit in the sense that the world of source software is very vast, and it's actually really cool if you get into it. So
Hmm.
in an age where everything's a subscription, everything is like you have to pay this amount per month, right? Um,
Well, that's why I'm wanting to try to get our smart home devices over onto our own thing that's hosted locally here. That way, even if the internet goes down, we still have control over it. Which everything I've bought, you can do that with.
hmm
Um,
I think it's called
but we
like
just
home kit or something. I
home
don't know.
assistant.
Home assistant, yeah.
Hmm. We just haven't delved that far into it yet. But
hmm
I'm kind of excited to do that.
But yeah, for PF Sense, I think it's pretty cool. Like, we have a Proxmox server, so just boot it up with VM. You know, we got a NIC, a 2-port NIC. I mean, obviously you can get 4-port, whatever you want. You plug it in and it works. It honestly is that simple. I know for
Hmm.
people maybe not on Intel NICs, it's a little bit trickier. You have to look at their supported hardware, but no, we used an Intel NIC and it was great. Um, no problems.
It worked wonderfully. We switched over because of how many again smart home devices that we had. It was actually causing a bit of bugginess within our consumer router that we had purchased. It wasn't beefy enough to support all of those devices and everything. It would kind of
Yeah, we
freak out.
usually
So.
have about 58 devices at a time.
Hmm. So we went over and made our own, and it cleared up pretty much all of the issues so far. So time will tell. We've been using it for what, a couple of weeks now.
I'd say it's been about a week. maybe a week and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, a week and a half. It's so far it's done pretty well. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, and then the really nice part is the NIC that we got is a 10 gig NIC, so future proof. You
Mhm.
can plug in if we were to upgrade all the other parts, we could be getting 10 up to 10 gigabit if we really could get that out here. Um, but one more thing I wanted to add on is with having that I just forgot what to say.
With
uh
having the Pfsense router.
Oh, okay, here we go. So with the whole Google Chrome, we talked about this already, but with Google Chrome kind of using Metafest version 3 and the potential struggle with some ad block services, if you guys have a custom firewall slash router like Pfsense, they offer like plugins and stuff, and one of them is to just completely block like ads from the router itself. So that's a cool kind of alternative as well if you don't want to worry about what browser do I get or like do I need to install this or that. That's a cool thing too. There's also something called Pi-hole, Pi-hole. Um, that can also block a ton of ads. It's a pretty good ad blocker that it's designed to be on a Raspberry Pi, but you can boot up a VM on some old machine and do it as well, or install it if you really wanted to on the bare metal.
And of
But yeah.
course you can add your VPN and stuff like
Oh
that
yeah, yeah. You
right
could have
into
all your
it.
traffic routed through OpenVPN or whatever you want. Yeah, so that's cool too. There's a lot of customizability, and it just to me it was very surprising how much the open source community has advanced. Because last I used it, I don't think it was this fleshed out, but it's actually decently like well fleshed out. And for those that don't know, pfSense is an open source enterprise grade firewall slash router. So you get all that granular control. So yeah, just
Hmm.
something I wanted to share. We all had a pretty good experience with it. So yep, I think Twiz can agree that we love it so far. Alrighty. So our final topic, since it is Black Friday, we're gonna give out our thoughts about what deals, what we can look forward to Cyber Monday, and kind of pre-tariff suggestions that maybe the tariffs will increase the price on said items. So try to look out for them now if they're at good price and kind of pull the trigger. Um, so I'm gonna start out with an item here that me and you both saw. Graphics cards. The 4000 series graphics cards right now are actually priced pretty nicely for Black Friday. I'm definitely assuming Cyber Monday is gonna be the same thing. Um, and this is an item that potentially will be going up in the coming few years because of some tariffs and stuff like that. So be on the lookout if you guys can find a good deal on that. I personally would recommend pulling the trigger. I know they are saying that the 5000 series is going to be significantly more expensive. Twiz, how much did you say?
They're talking about over 2,000. I've heard, so this is rumor, it's speculation, but I've heard anything between 24 to 2,700, which is for a 5090, of course. So that's the top of the top tier. But insane, absolutely insane pricing. Of course, the tariffs aren't helping. Well, the promise of tariffs, the concepts of thoughts and tariffs. So I don't know. Time will tell on that one. But my suggestion, anything tech related, if you can find a good deal on it, get it now. Even if you can't find a good deal on it, if you miss Cyber Monday and you need upgrades, components, anything tech related, I would I would go ahead and get it. It's better to be safe than sorry. And from the current political climate in the world, with the tariffs that are proposed by the incumbent American president, um, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to think about that. I'm not saying to go for broke, no electronic, no piece of tech is more valuable than food on your table or power or your rent or anything like that. But if you can't afford it and you are needing upgrades, I suggest you look into them now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely agreed. Tech's a pretty big one, obviously. With with us, we watch the tech pretty closely, and surprisingly, there's still some pretty good deals. TVs are your usual kind of like, they're on sale and stuff. I know for specifically at Micro Center, for example, we were watching that. There's still some like good Samsung 55-inch TVs for like $250. However, those
Hmm.
were in person or in store only, so your mileage may vary with that one.
Also, building materials, clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, building materials. Do you know if Lowe's, for example, is having anything specific, or you don't know?
I'm not entirely sure, but we just saw all of the building materials come back down and normalize in prices after the inflation from the pandemic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, um, if you are thinking about doing some upgrades this spring and summer and stuff like that, it's probably best that you get your raw materials now before the tariffs go into effect, because a lot, and I was stunned to find this out, but a lot of Americans didn't realize that, like, our lumber, our aluminum, our steel, 80% of all of that comes from Canada. So with the threats of tariffs on Canada and Mexico and all of that, of course things are going to go up again, and we're going to be back to, you know, $10 two by fours or $12 two by fours or whatever it was, and along with sheetrock and plywood and corrugated steel and all of that stuff. So if you were planning on a new deck or you know building walls in your basement, whatever it may be, I would say to go ahead and get your raw materials now.
Yeah, and Samsung is having a pretty nice deal with trade-in offers. Huge actually. If you're looking for like a Samsung Watch or
Phone.
smartphone, they're
Hmm.
having really good trade-in deals right now.
Tablets too.
Tablets as well. Yeah, I've seen some
Mm.
people get like a new watch. I don't know what they're on, but a brand new Gear watch for like $50 with a trade-in. So definitely be on the lookout for those. Cyber Monday is coming up, so definitely take advantage if you're wanting an upgrade. I'm pretty sure even Apple has some great deals right now in terms of trade-ins and maybe some earbuds or something.
To be
So
honest, if I didn't already have an iPad Pro, I would have went and got the Samsung tablet. As good of a deal as it was, it has the pen,
yeah,
everything like
yeah, it has
that.
everything, right?
It is an absolute powerhouse
Yeah.
of a tablet. So if I didn't already have the iPad Pro, that's what I would have went after.
Yep, and then like I said, Samsung gives extremely good value for your trade-in. So, um, if you're wanting to trade it in, that's a good deal. I've also heard some people saying that the Google Pixel's got a really good trade-in deal right now. So if you have an older gen Pixel, they're offering quite a bit for it for you to upgrade to the Pixel 9 or 9 Pro, whatever you want. So that's something else to look out for as well. Some gift ideas that I wanted to recommend. We're seeing the PS5 Pro be absolutely absurd in terms of pricing and scalpers. However, the PS5 is actually not bad. It was actually recently on sale. The digital edition, so no disc drive, went down to $430. So if you have a kid, you want to get him a console, the PS5 is still extremely powerful. You can play games pretty well on 4K.
Well, Amazon had the PlayStation 5 disc version for $329.
So there you go. That doesn't make any sense. That's over $200 cheaper.
Yeah, they
Um,
did.
well, I don't know if that's still a thing, but if it is, I would jump on that if you guys are wanting a console for your loved
Let me
one,
see.
your son, whoever, daughter, whatever it may be. Um, the year of consoles is upon us. Um, Xbox Series S went all the way down to
Okay,
200. 200.
it's
Yes, it went down
it's
to 200.
370. It's $374 for the Fortnite Cobalt Star Digital Edition.
Okay, so there you go. It was even lower than I thought. I think the disc version actually might have been 429. But there you go. PS5
If
is.
it was, it has went back up to $454.99, and that is
Okay.
the disc version.
Okay. Well, just so everyone knows, you don't need the disc version, especially in today. You really don't. You could buy all the games digitally. You could even pre-order them digitally. So if you're really hell bent on having physical media, you could. But honestly, even in today's age, when you plug in a disc, it downloads additional content over the internet. So I would just go for the non-disc version and call it a day. But yeah, consoles are really good this year. If you're wanting to get a loved one or someone, that's a pretty good option. Another really good option this year for a gift idea or a stocking stuffer is actually like tablets. Tablets have gone down a bit. The Amazon tablets are pretty cheap right now, and like Twiz was saying, the Samsung tablets are really affordable
I personally don't recommend the Amazon tablets though.
for a kid. I'm saying like for a child.
Oh yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. Sure.
They're very, very cheap. I think they went all the way down to like $80 for the big one. So they're pretty cheap. Now don't expect the world from them, okay? Don't expect
Right.
the world. But it is something cheap, to have to give to a kid to watch something or something like that. Um, TVs are pretty good. If you guys are looking for in the market for like a 55-inch LCD TV, you can pretty much find one for around $250. If you go with like off-brand, like TCL or something, definitely can find one for the 250s to 280s. So that's also a pretty good gift right there. Do you have any suggestions, Twiz, for gifts this season?
Controllers, like I said, tech.
Controllers are down as well. So I know the PS5 DualSense or DualSense, I think, right? Went down from 80 or 70, is it 70 or 80 to
Almost $80.
$55. So that's also a potential thing.
For the custom colored ones, it's 59 on Amazon.
Okay, that's actually really worth it. Have it match the aesthetic of whatever you want.
I have a volcanic red one coming in the mail.
Wow, very cool, very cool. And then in terms of other things, clothing, in terms of like physically going to stores, I know that Hollister's running a pretty good deal. Aeropostale's got decent sales, I think 40% off.
American
Um,
Eagle.
American Eagle, Vans had a buy one get one
Vans.
free, so that's pretty good too. There's some okay deals. Now, there's also a lot of false deals.
A
So
lot of bullshit.
yeah, a lot of there are a lot of stores where they're hiking up the price and discounting it back to normal. So just be on the lookout for that. You know, I know Amazon there's a plugin for Amazon that'll show you like the history of all the prices. Um, look at that and make sure that you're actually getting a deal, not getting ripped off.
Oh, last one. GoV. They are
GoV is, yeah.
having one badass sale on all their stuff, so check GoV out.
I personally saw the new Evangelion or Galleon, whatever the hell, GoV lights, and I really like those. Those are pretty cool. They have a sale on the 6-pack for I think $120. That's pretty cool. Yep. Usually it'd be like 180 or 190, so yeah. Well, alrighty, that pretty much concludes this episode of the You'll Have That podcast. A few quick announcements to kind of end things off. We actually have a Blue Sky account that we're using. I'll post updates about the podcast and stuff. So by all means, if you want like little updates and like if we're missing a week, I'll post it there. It's just search at Gadaver.com. Yep. And my name on there is Wassup, so you'll be able to find me there. Twiz also has one. Twiz, what's your Blue Sky?
1 second. I
All
think
right.
it's twisted at Gadaver.com.
Yep, and then you can find either one of us. So we actually really like Blue Sky so far, so we're gonna definitely utilize that.
Yeah,
And
I'm at twisted.gadaver.com.
all right, yep, there you go. And then thank you everyone for watching, and thank you for liking and commenting. By all means, please do hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out. We've been having great engagement. And visit us on Spotify if you'd like to visit there. Just search You'll Have That, and that's our podcast right there. Um, Thank you all for listening, and we wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving if you're, well, technically it's post Thanksgiving, so never mind, but we wish you happy holiday season upon us. So thank you all for watching. Wasa.
Always remember and never forget, you'll have that.
You will have that. Take care, guys.